All right, Virgo, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for December 11th to the 17th of 2017, and this video is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below. We're using the actual size of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. And you do want to make sure that your sidereal sun, moon, or ascendant is in fact in Virgo. All right, so Virgo, this week, an important week because of the fact that we're gearing up for a very important new moon, which will be late Sunday and early Monday of next week. So early Monday of next week, new beginning, and it's important because it's conjunct the Galactic Center. This is the center of the galaxy, the center of the Milky Way, which has to do with when planets pass through here. It's very transformational. And so with the new beginning, the new moon, it's a transformational new beginning, a rebirth, if you will. So this is happening in the third house, which has to do with your mind, your perspective on life, your rational mind in terms of what you like to learn about, what you're curious about, and in many ways, the fundamentals of your communication as well. So new beginnings in terms of how you relate with others, the communication, exchanging with others, learning from others, all of this sort of synergy in your life is gearing up for this new beginning. So this week is about reflecting on a lot of this. Mercury is going to be retrograde through this third house, forming some aspects. And all the stuff you are learning this week about communication, about learning in general, you're going to find is setting the stage for these new beginnings. All right, Virgo, so let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here is the chart for the week. You can see all these fast-moving planets here in your third house of our rational perspective, our mind, the way we view things in a very practical sense, and communication. So there is this new beginning. Externally, you'll notice more externally next week. Maybe some of you are starting a new course or deciding you want to write a book, or there's this whole new perspective on communication or business, trade, again, exchanging synergy, connection with your community or your siblings. All this kind of stuff could be applying to this. But fundamentally, it is the shift of your perspective, your mind, how you view things. So this is all going to be an internal process first. And in fact, this weekend, before the new moon, it is a very internal time. It's going to be the ending phase of this current cycle that we're in, this current lunar cycle. And it's an excellent weekend for going within, seeing what is transforming, or what is feeling like it's about to transform, and that will be setting the stage for then the external transformations which come after the internal transformation. So let's look at this week in terms of what is leading up to it. Like I said, Mercury retrograde is the major player here this week with this, and so that being your ruler, it is very good for you when Mercury goes retrograde all the time to be reflecting on your personal needs, to be reflecting on what you want in life, what's important to you in life. And also, too, in terms of your career as well, okay? But that's kind of always the case. What's specifically going on is this whole reflection on the importance of communication, the importance of learning, of curiosity, getting into that inquisitive and curious side of ourselves. So great to be rehashing things, relearning things. Some of you going back and relearning maybe about courses or studies or, again, any of this stuff having to do with exchanging, trade, business, some of you. And so flexibility, learn about it. It's an excellent time for implementing. Just when you're implementing, understand that things are changing with the retrograde, that we don't want to get ourselves into anything we can't get back out of. So have a plan A, B, C, and D, but experiment. It's what this time is for, and we're learning a lot through this process. So Tuesday, Wednesday, this could be illuminating a lot about you with the sun over, well, Mercury over the sun, illuminating you, your personal needs, and illuminating a lot of what you've learned this past week or two regarding all this communication and practical stuff in your life. All right, and there could be some good insight that's going to help you move that energy forward as we get through the second half of the retrograde, because the halfway point is when Mercury goes over the sun, the status check now of what we've been learning. So as we get into Friday, Saturday, we do have then Mercury retrograde over Venus. And so this will be a rehashing, rethinking, specifically to the values, what you enjoy when it comes to these practical things in life and learning and communication. So the values here. What are your values? What do you enjoy here? Also, re-examining your values in general. Venus rules your second house of finance, of resources, these types of things. So, a great time to be doing that. Reevaluating, rethinking what you truly value, your resources, and maybe even too a bit of your adventurous spirit. The importance of also thinking big. While this is a very practical house, also remembering the importance of open-minded thinking, positive thinking, expanding your horizons, tapping into your adventurous side. There's a lot to learn with this, and this is important because the new moon will be conjunct Venus. So it's going to be a new beginning with your values in general. It's going to be a new beginning for some of you with your resources, and a new beginning in terms of your perspective on life. You know, your larger perspective, and possibly even to your philosophy changing, your worldview changing, and some of you may be starting something new with higher learning or travel. So that's what we're gearing up for, but the weekend is, again, the ending phase, so receptivity is key, listening. Now, the sun is going to be trining up to Uranus on Saturday and squaring up to Chiron Friday, Saturday. And so what's really supporting this whole new beginning is actually that you've been going through a lot of changes with relationships this past 8 years, seeing the freedom of having change in relationships and just the importance of freedom in relationships. But all of this is very much supporting it. So your relationship area is supporting it. Maybe relationships in your life directly are supporting it. And it's a great weekend for that. For spontaneity in relationships, trying new things, bit of variability. That's the Uranus energy. If any wounds do come up, maybe about relationships, but just in general, again, internal time. Good to accept any wounds that do come up. Maybe do some internal healing to gear up for these new beginnings around the corner. Is transforming you, coming out of this empowering feeling of being, more non-attached, of shedding this skin, this fear of anything that we're attached to or holding on tightly to, involving communication, involving sharing, exchanging. And through this shedding of the old, there is the new. And it's this rebirth, the phoenix coming out of the ashes here, which then leads to a much more non-attached communication, non-attached perspective that can be very empowering. All right, so Virgo, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the yearly forecasts if you haven't yet. I put those out last week. And there's also a 20% discount for the holidays for yearly readings. So there's a link on the page for that. Do check that out. And I'll see you all next time for the next forecast.